depending on what side I want to do it on, if I put all my weight over here, I'm isolating one shoulder. Now he can't move that arm. I know he's going to move that. So I get the weight over here. As soon as he starts, see what he did? Freezes. Don't move. He pulled his hand here, and it's up in the air. He went from here to here. Wonderful. Okay, to him down, boom, I put my weight on one side, I'm off my knees, making him carry my weight. That pins his shoulder down, isolates him, immobilizes. From here, when he wants to get up, he's going to do that. As soon as he does that, then I can continue the arm that direction, and it's a slap. Bam! I want to continue that arm. I'm waiting for that arm to move. As soon as it moves, I continue. Oops. If you'll watch, my hand will move with his. From here, as soon as he moves his hand, then I'm scooping it. I'm going with him. I'm going to continue the motion, the momentum that he has taken here, waiting for him to move that arm. As soon as he moves his arm, I follow it. Take the hand, I bang it back, and then I drive my arm through. I don't try to hang onto it here. I try to see how much of an arm that can I get involved here. I want my arm in here if I can. The deeper, the better. The deeper, the better, especially when you got someone that has a set of biceps on. From here, as soon as he pulls back, continue it, and then jam your arm in deep. Don't hold it here to the bar. This is okay. This is great. Get in deep. Okay, now when I'm deep here, we certainly can still run the bars. Now I can start working on this side. Now I got two hands over here. So I'm doing this arm. Instead of having one and one, now I'm having two hands, because this is instant deep. If this was here, I'm controlling that one-on-one. Again, got your biceps, I might be able to do that. I don't. So I want to use two hands. Over, now I come over here, hook, hand, pull, and start working on my double chins. But I can do something here because I got two hands involved. First thing we're going to learn is how to, when the arm comes back, catch it in deep. Now from here we're going to come out to a right angle and get the hell off our knees again. Okay, now, second thought, I'm going to keep my knees on. Don't want to be out this yet. But deeper you go, the stronger you are. The deeper you go, the stronger you are. Get it in deep. You don't have to do anything with it, just get it in deep. Now he can't get his arm back. Now from here what we're going to do is take our elbow and whack him in the face. He's going to say, what? Okay. Elbow over to the head here. We're not going to go bam, although we could in UFC. But anyhow, here, and now all I'm going to do is say, come here. My elbow. His head can't stop doing that. I don't care how strong your neck is. Here, and my elbow's coming back. I'm just bringing the elbow back. See what happens with his head? It starts to turn. As it starts to turn, then my hand will slip underneath, and I'll lock my hands. Once I get my hands locked, I'm going to put my ear on his side here. I'm going to turn and listen to his chest. Hands here, up front, turn my head down, and listen to his chest. Once I'm here, I get off my knees, and I'm picking his head up. I'm going to drive my chest, my shoulder, into the solar plexus right here. I want all my weight right there on his chest or on his throat as I'm picking his head up. That pins his shoulder down, creates a little bit of discomfort, and if I go a little higher on that, you'll find his breathing kind of slows down a little bit. Anytime you can stop the blood flow to the brain or the oxygen from going through the mouth, down the throat to the lungs, that's a good thing. There are 1,001 clinicians out there that will take you on your feet. How do you throw a guy on his ass? But what you don't get typically is, okay, once he's down there, what do I do with him? And that's usually where I take is my strength. Although I can certainly spend some time on our feet, he throws them down, same with doubles, so on. But they're pretty. Here in California, from Azevedo, they're all over the place. You can get the technicians on your feet. It's what do you do after you knock them down? You get down there to a turbo. I have 4 hours on the clock: 12, 3, 6, and 9. But I have 2 appendages, 4. Anything that happens at 3 o'clock is my right arm and right leg. 6 o'clock, both feet. 12 o'clock, both hands. Now, when you wrestle good guys that have been out for a couple of years that are at the 6 or above on a scale of 1 to 10, you can add an hour on either end of that. The good ones, my right arm is now, I can go 11 to 4. I can add an hour here and an hour here. And I got a little bit more range of motion. When you're first learning to wrestle, you only have those 3 hours. And as you get a little better, you learn to cross over into other hours. So there's only, some spots that are weak spots that you want to take advantage of. And that's 10:30 and 1:30. Okay, not 1 and not 2, 1:30, 10:30. Okay, those 2 hours on the clock are paramount to down resting. You want to remember 10:30, 1:30. Depending on what side I want to do it on, if I put all my weight over here, I'm isolating one shoulder. Now he can't move that arm. I know he's going to move that. So I get the weight over here. As soon as he starts, see what he did? Freeze. Don't move. He pulled his hand here, and it's up in the air. He went from here to here. Wonderful. Okay, took him down, boom, I put my weight on one side, I'm off my knees, making him carry my weight. That pins his shoulder down, isolates him, immobilizes. From here, when he wants to get up, he's going to do that. As soon as he does that, then I can continue the arm that direction, and it's a slap. Bam! I want to continue that arm. I'm waiting for that arm to move. As soon as it moves, I continue. If you'll watch, my hand will move with his. From here, as soon as he moves his hand, then I'm scooping it. I'm going with him. I'm going to continue the motion, the momentum that he has taken here. Waiting for him to move that arm. As soon as he moves his arm, I follow it. Take the hand, I bang it back, and then I drive my arm through. I don't try to hang onto it here. I try to see how much of an arm that can I get involved here. I want my arm in here if I can. The deeper, the better. The deeper, the better, especially when you got someone that has a set of biceps on. From here, as soon as he pulls back, continue it, and then jam your arm in deep. Don't hold it here to the bar. This is okay. This is great. Get in deep. Okay, now when I'm deep here, we certainly can still run the bars. Now I can start working on this side. Now I got 2 hands over here. So I'm doing this arm. Instead of having 1 and 1, now I'm having 2 hands, because this is instant deep. If this was here, I'm controlling at 1-on-1. Again, got your biceps, I might be able to do that. I don't. So I want to use 2 hands. Over. Now I come over here, hook, hand, pull, and start working on my double checks. But I can do something here because I got 2 hands involved. First thing we're going to learn is how to, when the arm comes back, catch it in deep. Now from here we're going to come out to a right angle and get the hell off our knees again. Okay, now second thought, I'm going to keep my knees. I don't want to be out. This is good. But deeper you go, the stronger you are. The deeper you go, the stronger you are. Get it in deep. You don't have to do anything with it, just get it in deep. Now he can't get his arm back. Now from here what we're going to do is take our elbow and whack him in the face. He's going to say, what? Okay, elbow over to the head here. We're not going to go bam, although we could in UFC. But anyhow, here, and now all I'm going to do is say, come here. My elbow. His head can't stop doing that. I don't care how strong your neck is. Here, and my elbow's coming back. I'm just bringing the elbow back. See what happens when his head starts to turn. As it starts to turn, then my hand will slip underneath, and I'll lock my hands. Once I get my hands locked, I'm going to put my ear on his side here. I'm going to turn and listen to his chest. Hands here, up front, turn my head down, and listen to his chest. Once I'm here, I get off my knees, and I'm picking his head up. I'm going to drive my chest, my shoulder, into the solar plexus right here. I want all my weight right there on his chest, or on his throat, as I'm picking his head up. That pins his shoulder down, creates a little bit of discomfort, and if I get a little higher on that, you'll find his breathing kind of slows down a little bit. Anytime you can stop the blood flow to the brain, or the oxygen from going through the mouth, down the throat to the lungs, that's a good thing. There are 1,001 clinicians out there that will take you on your feet. How do you throw a guy on his ass? But what you don't get typically is, okay, once he's down there, what do I do with him? And that's usually where I take is my strength. Although I can certainly spend some time on our feet, and throws them down, singles, doubles, and so on. But they're pretty. Here in California, from Azevedo, they're all over the place. You can get the technicians on your feet. It's what do you do after you knock them down to get them down there to turn them. I have 4 hours on the clock: 12, 3, 6, and 9. But I have 2 appendages for. Anything that happens at 3 o'clock is my right arm and right leg. 6 o'clock, both feet. 12 o'clock, both hands. Now, when you wrestle good guys that have been out for a couple of years and are at the 6 or above on a scale of 1 to 10, you can add an hour on either end of that. The good ones, my right arm is now, I can go 11 to 4. I can add an hour here and an hour here. And I got a little bit more range of motion. When you're first learning to wrestle, you only have those 3 hours. And as you get a little better, you learn to cross over into other hours. So there's only, some spots that are weak spots that you want to take advantage of. And that's 10:30 and 1:30. Okay, not 1 and not 2. 1:30, 10:30. Okay, those 2 hours on the clock are paramount to down wrestling. You want to remember 10:30, 1:30. There is a fine line in wrestling between legal and illegal, and a lot of it is the appearance of it. Okay, if I went, bah, and hit him, that's probably going to cost me the point in the match, But if how I did that, if you watch, I can do the same thing. Here's the difference in wrestling that most people don't understand, is here, if I go, it looks like I'm trying to grind a damn thing in and hurt him. That's going to cost me a point. I haven't done anything different than this. But my face looks like I'm not doing anything. It's acting. I'm beating the shit out of him with a smile. The referee will stop me right now. You can see I'm trying to hurt him. Instead of just relaxing and doing the same thing. When I pull him back here, lean here, a little yawn. It's the facial expressions that and I get bubbles out my nose from, snort. It's the appearance of impropriety, the appearance of illegalness is most of your bar arms. You get that bar arm, you're gonna so much. You get that son of a bitch look in your face. Then these referees start to go, whoa, wait a minute, this guy's intense. I better stop that. Because it looks like he's trying to hurt the guy, and the referee doesn't want to look bad in front of the crowd. So the referee will blow the whistle, attention dangerous, or warn you. So it's a lot of times your illegal holds are what they appear to be by how I act. I'm going to spend a little too much time on that one point, but I don't know. It makes the difference. And referees are like rattlesnakes. They always, before they strike, they warn. Watch your arm, watch your arm, watch your arm, Jimmy, watch your arm. There, watch your arm. And when they say watch the arm, they're ready to go, touch dangerous, or illegal, 1 point. Okay, so when they start going, listen, what's he saying? Especially when you got him on his back. He's saying, if you're not paying attention, I'm going to blow the whistle, I'm going to let him off his back, and if you want that, you keep doing what you're doing. That's what they're saying. So when you hear a referee go, watch your arm, watch your arm, watch your arm, even if you know it's perfectly legal, somehow he doesn't think it is, or he wouldn't be saying what he's saying. So you have to listen to the referee and adjust your strategy, your technique, your philosophy to what he's telling you. He's saying, I don't like what the hell you're doing, stud. Cut it out, or I'm going to stop you. And when you already have him on his back, you don't want to do that. You only get a good guy on his back once. And when you get him there, you want to stick him. You're not going to get a second shot at a good guy and put him on his back unless you're really an exceptional wrestler. Well, he's an exceptional dad, some kind of dichotomy. I used to do a 3-minute match. I'd go to clinics. I can't even begin to do it anymore in my body. I used to wrestle an invisible model. And we get the kids all cranked up that there was a guy from the WWE and WWF at the time coming, and he's called the Mauler, the Invisible Mauler. Most of the kids hadn't heard of him. Of course, it didn't exist. And that he was, in fact, we took it literally, he was invisible. And we'd have two coaches outside these doors, when's he coming, when's he coming? Oh, every Friday, the last day of camp. And then you have two coaches out there banging on doors, and then the crash doors, and then the two coaches would come out, hold this arm. There's this big guy in there, and there's one, and then they'd get out there, they'd have him sit in a chair, they'd massage his shoulders, and everything did. I'd be over this one. And then they come out, and I can't see because it's invisible, I get down, and next thing I hit myself in the back of the head, and I'm boom. I flip, I get I go through a whole damn match. I do a sit up. I get sucked back and ankle picked, and then at the end, good will overcome evil. But I go through about 2.5 minutes of that, 3 minutes of that, and I was total. And then the kids really started enjoying it because, you get the ankle pick and you get caught in the cradle, and they'd see these positions, they know they could name the duck under the ankle pick and suck back. the way he did it. It was a lot of fun for the kids. So I crunched down on his fingers. He yelped, pulled his hand out. It took him home and stuck him. The whole time he's been, you know, you're right. I did. Thank you very much. I'm out of here. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. He stuck them in there. They're in my mouth. They belong to me. You know, so he says, yes, they're mine. Is that right? Is that good? Bad? What's going on? Just every now and then. Yeah, it's just like, you know.
The ref doesn't see it, it's legal.
Something like that. I remember filling out a form in high school, you know, football team, a couple of teams would recruit me. I wasn't bad football players, but you know, I remember down at the bottom, a couple of them, you know, you line or back or this or that. And then one of them, you know, a couple of them said, "You kick." I go, "Yeah," and the ref's not looking. You know, the coach would call back, "I like that attitude. You know, you must be tough." You know, yeah, when the ref's not looking. You know, Danny Hodge here, he's, you know, Babe Ruth of wrestling. I think Hodge, you know, he wrestled, was undefeated all 4 years in college, was a big time NCAA champ because he wasn't eligible his freshman year. And there was only 2 kids he didn't pin all year. I mean, during his entire career in college. Only 2 got away. You know, and there were no techs or majors back then. You know, so he pinned everybody but 2 in 4 years. Hodge, he was an old farmer, 177 pounder. He had a big set of paws. And he had grip strength to die for him. He'd go into hardware stores and my dad sent me down to buy a pair of pliers, and he said, "Get the very best ones you got." Well, that's a Stanley, son, whatever, you know. Well, I'd like to have them. And you go. They broke. He could break pliers from his hand. Just take apples and make applesauce. You know, turn apples into applesauce with one hand. He took the old Oklahoma University, wrestled Oklahoma University. Oh, he wrestled Gary Kurtlemeyer, NCAA champ from the University of Iowa. Gary was the head coach. He's the one that hired Gable as the assistant coach at Iowa. Held him, trained him for 3 years before he retired, and Gabe became the head coach. And Kurtlemeyer was tough. He was a 2-time NCAA champ. He wrestled Iowa 1 year. And I had a photograph, a picture book that I did, a pictorial anthology of wrestling I put together. I try to get quotes from people about other wrestlers, and I put the photo of the other wrestler in there and a quote by somebody else. And I went to Kurtlemeyer, because I had Danny Hodge's picture in there. And I said, Gary, you wrestled Danny. Can you say something about him, you know, that I can put in here and be a, you know, noteworthy quote? He says, yeah, I got one for you. This is the best one I had in the book, and that was great. He said, you know, when I wrestled Danny, he said, the first period, I thought I was going to die. In the second period, I was afraid I wasn't. That was a great quote. Well, Hodge had such grip. You know, his arm drive was this. You know, and you're like this. Get sucked into some machinery or something, you know. And you grab your wrist and hang on, and the next day you'd have 5 fingerprints in black and blue on your wrist. When he left, I used to be convinced he used to, you know, work on a farm, you know, change the tractor tire, you know. You know, done. You know, that kind of power. And the old Oklahoma gym used to be an old Quonset hut, you know, the old Army Quonset hut style, was a big old thing. And they were made by 2x4s or 2x12s all the way across and back. And he used to walk up the stairs, bleachers on this side, and go hand over hand across the gym to the other side. You know, in the middle is about a 50-foot drop. But he wouldn't go over the normal way. He'd go this way. You know, for you. Ain't trying that one. You know, he just had that type of grip. Even Hodge today, he still goes to tournaments and makes apples out of applesauce, into applesauce. Danny's got to be 85. He's still going to applesauce. Both the Schalles, what talents they were. Mark is, Dave was. What a shame. Dave was great. I've been around all the wrestlers, you know, probably from the 60s up, and there was no one like Dave. He could see something on tape from a match, a tournament, watch it, figure it out, 5 minutes later walk out without having ever drilled it, and get a competition from watching it and analyzing it from that side. And then, you know, then he'd see something else, and he'd put those 2 pulls together and come up with a hybrid of those 2 after never having drilled or executed that. He was probably our greatest. I mean, you know, what's great? Toughest, orneriest, best record, most wins, most this, most that. Just, you know,
knowledge, skill, can beat you in any position. To me, great is you can put somebody in a body cast for 6 months in a hospital, cut him out, and the next day kick the hell out of everybody. That's great. You know, when you can just do that. That's the type of talent Mark or Dave Schalles was. I coached in the Soviet Union 1 year in 77, something like that. He was a high school senior. He was 149. I was a player coach, coaching the American team, wrestling 163. And, you know, I was playing with a high school kid, although he wasn't that, he beat Chuck Yeager right here in state champion.
Anyhow, I throw him on his back or something. Coach, how'd you do that? Well, what you did, Dave, is you did here and you stepped up here. Should have stepped up there, because then I was able to, you know, oh, okay. You know, and then 15 minutes later, somebody would get it on me. You know, and I wouldn't get it on him again, you know. So I'd change off and do something else, give him a head lock. What was that? What you did is you popped your shoulder up just a little bit, your head just a little bit too much on here, and boom, over you went. You know, 15 minutes later, he'd catch me in it. You know, this went on for about a week. We had a 3-week tour over to Soviet Union. And at the end of the week, you know, I calmed myself and I started thinking, you know, he's a high school kid, 49-pounder. I'm still going to go for another couple of years to the 80 Olympics. This kid might be a 63-pounder real soon. Boom, on goes back. Coach, how'd you do that? Read my lips. You. You know? That's not going to be there, but you're my coach. Not any longer. You're done learning from me. In 80.001, 1988.001, after the Olympics, show you anything you want to know. Up until then, you're on your own. You know, but you're my coach. I'll sit in your corner. I'm not teaching anymore. Did fall on his head last night.